Okay, this is, I guess, the third part, as I ran out of real topics to talk about, and I think my max cap may be 15 minutes. I don't know, I'll find out later. But back on the Palmer's rig. You can buy the pre-made one for the 116. Now, I'll recommend it. I will recommend it because I feel I'm getting $116 worth of use out of this. Not only do I get a pre-made, prefabricated, airtight Palmer's rig that is set up, or regulated air delivery system that was pre-tested by Palmer's themselves to be airtight, which it also has a lifetime warranty, which really don't worry about. But it also comes with the fitting here, wherever it went, with the extra fitting that doesn't matter to us airsofters, and the elbow itself came in real handy elsewhere. It also came with an extra plug, which I can't really remember what I did with it because it was filling this space here. Picking up the gauge, you can go to anywhere really, just as long as you get a gauge within limits. I mean, you want to have it around 200 to 300 psi. You don't want to have like a 600 psi one. But anyway, you can buy prefabricated ones which have tank side, before regulation tank side gauges, as well as line side gauges off of classicairsoft.org. I really think it's classicairsoft.org. There's a guy that sells them there. They're a bit more expensive, but his are set up to run on classic guns. So if you have a classic gun going with that guy, he'll have you set up and ready to go. But in my opinion, I feel this is a better use of my money because, I mean, I think his was around $200. No offense to that guy. It's just, I don't see why they're $200. You can build them yourself and maybe save yourself a few dollars. But if you have have no clue about all this, just go ahead and, bring up the 116. I feel it's worth it. I really do. All this stuff is airtight to, coming to you, and it's a good quality product. You don't have to worry about, which line is compatible with what the threadings are, getting the right kind of adapters. It comes to you ready to go and ready to use, except for this, which with us airsofters, getting one of those is a very good idea. Not having one, you can get away with it if you know what you are doing. For the most part, I doubt you people out there know what you're doing, but if you do, go right ahead, do it. But, I mean, an investment of maybe $10 is well worth it, because you can keep track of what your PSI is, keep track of what your drop rate is, and you can even keep an eye on if you're having this inkling sensation that you're running out of gas. You can tell, because instead of it going from that 120 that you have it set at after you get done shooting to the 140, 160 that it usually goes to, it's not going up. It's just kind of staying there. The gauge will definitely help you in the long run. I don't use the tank side. I don't care. I can pick this up, shake it, and no. It's something that doesn't matter to me. But you outsidey people, that's a different story. I think I'm out of ideas again. I'd recommend picking it up from Palmer's themselves off of eBay. Just type in Palmer's Paintball Rigs or Palmer's Pursuit Shop, and you'll find it. It's $110, $109 before shipping, and the shipping is $7 expedited, I believe. So yeah, it's still listed because I've got it watched, and I know it's still on, still for sale. I'm out of ideas, so just to wrap this up, $116, $126, let's say with the gauge, $126. You can get those off of eBay. You should be able to get this entire assembly off of eBay. The magazine that comes with your gun, perfectly fine. Getting an AEG magazine, you can get a second-hand one, even better, because you might as well just save yourself the money and not tear apart another gun. Let's just say $10 shipped. If you can probably find them on a Chinese website for that price. Maybe on eBay for that price. Second-hand for that price. I mean, mine I ended up getting for free from the guy because he's nice. I think it was Dudom or D. Dombrock something on ASF. He's a good guy, real good guy. Thanks to Dom, I really appreciate it. Worked out really well. Sorry, I'm an asshole. I'm an asshole, and what can I do about it? You won't get anything sugar-coated from me, even if you got AIDS. Anyway, getting one of these, as long as it has the pegs. That's the reason why I kind of had a bit of a tiff with that guy, because his shell did not have the pegs. I ended up having to, or the pegs or the hooks, actually. Anyway, enough with my life story. Picking them up and making sure they have both hooks. Pegs be damned. Those things can break off all day. It's the hooks that are very important. I've seen JG hooks break. I've seen JG pegs break. Of course, the classic Army, 2 classic Army magazines I had did not break, but they were terrible quality. They were actually really bad. I hear the newer ones are better, but anyway, JG mags I hear feed great, but I've seen the pegs break. Pegs be damned, it's the hooks that are important. Still seen a hook break once or twice, but if you get them together, you can glue them together as long as you've got it all set right. Anyway, let's just say $10 on that too. So we're looking at 126, 136 for that. A few bucks for the copper tube. Let's just round it up to 150 for the copper tube because of the maybe $4 for that. Buying this outright, I'm going to give you the highball of what I think my dad paid for $30. So 180. We're looking at 180 right now. If you've already got this stuff, no worries. But these extra tools will be very important. They'll make everything a lot easier. So 180 to I mean a small set of drill bits from a cheap place could probably be had for $5 to $10. So $190. I'm gonna go with a safe bet of $190 for this setup. Before this, the tank can break the bank or it cannot, depending on what gas you go for. I go CO2 because I know the gas delivery on this isn't high enough to worry me. I have sat there with it going off. Y'all have seen I hope y'all have seen my full shooting video, just me unloading, shooting at the water. I was, I think, a minute straight of shooting. No issue whatsoever. Emptied that magazine out except for that one misfeed that just kind of rolled out the barrel. But overall, fed perfectly fine. That had no issue whatsoever. You will notice a drop of pressure from, full PSI, or from when you first shoot. If you've watched my videos, you'll notice it. You'll notice burst firing is quick. But continued firing will lower the shots per second because it has a reservoir in here. It has an immediate reservoir that it can drain. Once that immediate reservoir is drained, it has to have all the gas be channeled through this tiny, tiny, tiny hole. I mean, I guess that's why it's the 1/8, because it's really, really small. So you're not going to get a lot of gas going through that. You can raise the PSI to offset that, but I feel that having a high burst fire and a low sustained fire is quite useful. We all like to have, have it on semi. That's, immediate fire as you pull the trigger, unlike AEGs. Having a very high burst fire is great because you can put a few rounds down range within, a very quick, short frame of time. But sustained fire, you don't want to empty your magazine out real quick. I mean, that's the problem with high-speed setups. But if you have a slower sustained fire, you can put rounds downrange to keep guys pinned down if you're going with the support roll. Or if you're going with the rifleman roll and just kind of running and gunning. That saves you both gas and ammunition, which will play into effect much later on. But it's still easy to load. A lot easier to load than this piece of shit. I mean, I figured out how to do it. If you get the sniper rifle attachment for those quick loaders, having that and then just kind of holding it on the top going down to where the angle hooks in, and just kind of forcing it, it works. I can't guarantee that it'll get you the full fill, but you know, you'll get a mostly full magazine. But for this, all you have to do is flip it open, you know, just take a handful of BBs, kind of shovel it in there, and close it back up. Roll the bottom like you would, or have a little bit of, like one of those 1/4-inch bits, hex bits that you just stick in, and then roll it real quick on the side. I mean, you'll be set up. It's a really good platform to work off of. You'll have consistent shot after shot after shot in semi. Of course, that rounds per second drop, like I mentioned earlier, you'll have that. But after that, it's you know, it's dead on. Unless for some reason you're adjusting yourself and you're getting some, you know, liquid propane, liquid CO2 in the line, which will dissipate rather quickly in the gas expansion chamber that this thing creates. The expansion chamber will, if you are feeding liquid out of the line of CO2, whenever it enters this lower pressurized zone here, it will become a gas, which is good because it won't be feeding cold liquid into your internal parts. Cold liquid in internal parts freezes valves and destroys things, just to let you know. Anyway, moving on. I would recommend definitely to add a drop or two of oil down here before you put it in there, as well as 1 or 2 in here. Better to over oil than not oil at all. After that, I usually put a drop or 2 of oil in here before I hook it all up, and of course make sure that this is nice and lubricated right here as well, because that will help with efficiency down the road. As per with usual G39s, as we like to call them, if your magazine leaks out of anywhere but here, tightening that screw right there will fix the issue. Like, I'd say 9 out of 10 leaks people have asked me about, I think have been fixed that way. I'd say 10 out of 10, but I really don't remember. But I know on every single one of my leaks that wasn't this, was that right there. I've never had an issue with this. Of course, you always want to oil your fill valve every once in a while down there, just in case. You know, whatever. Just add oil wherever. It's better to have oil on there when you don't need it than need oil on it when you don't have it. Man, it's been forever since I've talked this much. Damn. As with all propane, what's wrong with me? CO2 paintball tanks, they have an O-ring right here, which will just die. I've had it to where me screwing it in has made it burst. They will burst over time. It's just what they do. So you might want to pick up a little packet of those. That's like $2 for 10 O-rings. Just throw them in your airsoft box. Have them for later. It doesn't hurt to have them. With these are a lot better than just say generic O-rings, because generic O-rings are made out of rubber, which acts like rubber. It causes issues. It binds up and will tear itself as you're trying to screw it in. With this, it slips, and it's I guess it's some form of rubber where it will, you know, hold its own, but it won't just hold it and tear itself apart as it's moving through those threads. Great, another 13-minute video. Great. I think I'm out of things to talk about. Be mindful of what you're doing. Be very careful in what you're doing. Measure twice, cut once, all that jazz. Because if you do happen to ruin this magazine, that's $40 down the drain right there. It's not my fault. Be very careful in what you are doing. Always wear safety glasses. Using a Dremel tool especially will throw stuff into your eyes. Nobody wants to have that happen. I've had that happen before. It's not fun. Anyway, possible ideas for the future. Picking up some dummy 5.56 or 223 rounds, because people aren't that, you know, people can't tell that much difference between them at first glance. Maybe cutting them in half, or simply making it so this top just has them in there. Look realistic, look real cool. I had that planned, but I don't care enough to do that right now. Go away. Yeah, I think I'm out of ideas again. Whatever. Yeah. That's it. See you guys later. Feel free to PM me if you have any questions about this stuff. I'll be glad to answer questions that you may or may not have. Bye.